What's that? On the phone?
I don't have a mic.
Won't be able to hear.
Hey, Jim, stay where you are. Hey, stay where you are because Earl said you can call in. It's not going to be a long meeting. You can just do it through the meeting, through the phone. So I'm going to put you on speaker. All right. Stand by. Okay. All right. Can you hear us, Jim? All right. I just hope I have enough battery. All right. I don't know if I can put him on mute. 3/4. The only thing is I can't mute him.
Can you call into the, well, that's what I'm saying. Call into the,
I don't think he can because he doesn't have the number.
does he have to email him
Hey, Jim,
Yeah,
I'm going to email you the link
okay.
and you can get on
It's
your
my work email.
work email. Okay. Stand by. It's coming. And then there'll be a number to call in from there.
Okay. All right.
All right. Thanks.
Yep.
Bye. To make him a panelist. Let me just see if I can do that this late in the game.
but I guess, but he doesn't need to be, well, we don't need to see him.
No.
So actually you can just make him, just send it to him and you can mute him and unmute him when we need to.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
And that way we don't hear his background.
Yeah. I know. Breathing hard.
We
Jeez.
don't know what he's doing, right?
He says he's running.
It sounds like he's running, yeah. I mean, good for him, but.
Yeah, the executive order is still in effect.
All right. So that went. So he should have it and should be joining us at some point. But we'll get started as he tries to figure that out. Okay, so let me start this thing. I think I did start this thing. All right.
Hello?
Jim, can you hear us?
Yep, I can.
You just gave me a heart attack.
Huh?
All right, so Jim, you hang tight there, okay? Hang on.
Yep.
Let's mute that one. Okay. All right, so we're gonna unmute our Dana, Melissa, Michelle, Vicky, thank you for coming. You are unmuted on my end, so you would have to unmute yourself if you wanted to talk. We just had a little glitch here with getting Councilman Martin set up, but he is on the call with us. So, and Jim, it looks like you're self-muted as well, just so you know. So I'm gonna open the organizational meeting for the town of Glenville. Now called to order. I ask you please rise for the invocation and pledge of allegiance. Today, I think only to recall as we start the new year for this board and its deliberations throughout 2021. And as we watch all that's happening across in our nation today, I think it's appropriate that we mute Jim. I think it's appropriate that we recall the words of Francis Assisi. Lord, make me an instrument of your peace. Where there is hatred, let me sow love. Where there is injury, pardon. Where there is doubt, faith. Where there is despair, hope. Where there is darkness, light. And where there is sadness, joy. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please call the roll.
Councilman Martin,
Muted again. We can come back to him.
Councilman Aragosa.
Here.
Councilman Godlewski.
Here.
Councilwoman Wozzowski.
Here.
Supervisor Kettsley.
Here.
Councilman Martin.
Here.
All right. There he is. Okay. So we have a busy agenda, but as we do each year, we take up most of it on consent, as you can see through the key there, what the different consent items are. But before we do that, Supervisor has some appointments. First and foremost, I'm pleased to ask Councilwoman Gina Wozzowski to serve as Deputy Supervisor again, 3 years in a row? 4, 3 or 4? Yeah, the time flies. I don't know. This is the 4th. I think this is the 4th. So thank you very much. Appointing Tom Capola, Commissioner of Public Works, and the liaison roles will stay as they were in 2020. So we'll keep the liaisons as they were. They seem to work well, and those are the appointments of the supervisor. The Employee Service Awards are not occurring tonight. They'll be on for a later meeting, probably the next meeting, which is the 16th. Is that right? No, I'm in December. We don't have a, oh my goodness, we don't have a 2021 calendar. But in any case, on the 20th, we'll probably try to do something. Obviously, we can't have the employees in this room, but we'll figure out a way to recognize the employees and their service awards. We do have the awards already to be distributed to them, probably through the department heads is how that will work as we go forward. So we'll move on to the resolutions. We have a variety of them. The first set of resolutions are the administrative resolutions denoted by letter A, and they are resolutions 1 through 8. They deal with things like setting the dates and times of the meetings of the town of Glenville, setting the official newspaper, designating the signatories for certain bank accounts and things like this. Mostly housekeeping stuff. That's 1 through 8. Do I have a motion to take that up on consent?
I'll move it.
Move. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? Seeing none, please record the vote.
Councilman Martin.
Yes.
Councilman Aragosa.
Yes.
Councilman Godlewski.
Yes.
Councilwoman Wozzowski. Yes. Supervisor Kettsley.
Yes, resolution passes. We are now on to accepting, passing resolutions 1 through 8. Do I have a motion?
I'll move
Do I
it.
have a second?
I'll second.
Moved and seconded, moving 1 through 8 on consent. All in favor? No, I'm sorry. I'm got too many things going on. Linda's to record the vote.
Okay, yeah.
It's moved and seconded. Discussion. Please record the vote.
Councilman Martin.
Yes.
Councilman Aragosa.
Yes.
Councilman Godlewski. Councilwoman Wozzowski. Supervisor Kettsley.
Yes, resolution passes. There is one thing I will bring up later, but I was in a meeting today, a virtual meeting, that they had this electronic owl, they call it, and the voice noise follows wherever the noise is, so someone doesn't have to control all this. It actually goes to whoever's speaking, and we need to look into that. So I will bring that up.
We use those for school.
Yeah, that's where I was. I was at Burn Hills High School, and it was phenomenal because nobody had to control anything. It just recorded who was talking. So the next set is operational, which is O, and that's 9 through 16. These are things that appoint our deputy highway superintendent, appoint or provide for the purchasing policy for the town of Glenville, authorize the highway superintendent to employ 25 people, things like this. So that's 9 through 14. Do I have a motion to take up on consent? Oh, 16, move through 16, I'm sorry. It's moved. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Moved and seconded. All in favor? No, again, I'm sorry. Any discussion? Seeing none, please record the vote.
Councilman Martin.
Yes. Yes.
Councilman Aragosa.
Yes.
Councilman Godlewski.
Yes.
Councilwoman Wozzachowski. Yes. Supervisor Pettsley.
Yes, resolution passes. Now we're going to take up resolutions 9 through 16 on consent. Do I have a motion?
Move it.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? Seeing none, please record the vote.
Councilman Martin.
Yes. Yes.
Councilman Aragosa.
Yes.
Councilman Godlewski.
Yes.
Councilwoman Wozzachowski. Yes. Supervisor Pettsley.
Yes, resolutions pass. Next set of resolutions are committees and commissions. They are 17 through 25, and they appoint things like the zoning board, planning board, GECC, and so forth. Many of them are return appointments. There is one new appointment in the ZBA for a resignation that came in fairly late. There is an addition on the GECC for, again, another resignation that came in on that. And there's one on the Ethics Committee where there was a resignation on that, and that one was added as well. And Park Planning has a new person filling a vacancy. So we'll take a motion to take that up on consent, 17 through 25.
Move it.
Have a motion, have a second,
I'll second. I'll second.
moved and seconded. Any discussion?
One thing, Mr. Supervisor, on some of these committees, I know County Mosquito recently established an opportunity for youth representative volunteers in some of these positions. Might be a good idea to look into going forward for us, maybe adding a youth to the Park Planning Commission, or maybe adding a youth to some of these other commissions, just to kind of add, give them some opportunity to be more involved in government, but also, get a better perspective on, these things. If down the road, I'd like to definitely bring that forward, and we can talk more about it at the planning session.
Good,
Thank you.
thank you. Any other questions or comments?
Supervisor, if I may, I'm just moving briefly on 17 on the appointment replacing Ms. Kissinger on the DDA with Mr. Sloydam.
Yeah.
Just like to look at the future qualifications, what background qualification.
Yeah, Barry is known to the town, most folks in the town, as far as town administration. He's a local business owner here in the town. He's been involved with local businesses in the town for probably at least 15 years that I know, that I go back to. He was the manager, if you remember, the old home health store that was where, what was that called? Not Hometown Health. But anyway, he was a retailer here, and he worked as a partner and a manager in that function. He then had a video production business here, and now he has a home remodeling service or some sort. So he's got a long history in working in business within the town of Glenville, a longtime resident as well. Any other questions or comments? Okay, so seeing none, where are we, Linda? We on consent?
This is consent.
Okay, so let's record the vote.
Councilman Martin.
Yes.
Councilman Aragosa.
Yes.
Councilman Godlewski.
Yes.
Councilwoman Wozzachowski. Yes. Supervisor Pettsley.
Yes, so take up resolutions 17 to 20 through 25 on consent. Do I have a motion?
I'll move it.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion?
Just to echo Councilman Aragosa's comments, I had a moment to think about the idea, and I think it's great. I think it would be. I briefly saw the program over in Niskayuna, and specifically on some of the obviously the ZBA and planning commission that are established by state statute. It might be an issue, but some of the more locally established committees, I think it'd be a great opportunity for young people. I think it's a really good idea.
Just a little farther on that, unfortunately, we don't get to see the students from government classes come to our meetings anymore, but this might be a way to keep them involved in what we do. And you know, it's important to their education, you know, to find out more about how local government works. So, thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments? Seeing none, please record the vote.
Councilman Martin,
Yes.
Councilman Rebosa.
Yes.
Councilman Godlewski.
Yes.
Councilwoman Wozzachowski.
Yes.
Supervisor Pettsley.
Yes, resolutions passed. Last set of resolutions on consent are contractual in nature. These are mostly things that were in the budget, and these are execution, or we'd be executing the contracts. So they are resolutions 26 through 39. And it's a variety of different agreements in there between the Burn Hill Summer Rec, the Catholic Charities for the senior program, Freedom Park for the programs they run. As you can see through here, Scotia Glenville Senior Recreational Services as well. Chamber of Commerce, the list is the VW. So do I have a motion to take those up on consent? Do I have a second?
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? Seeing none, please record the vote.
Councilman Martin,
Yes.
Councilman Rebosa.
Yes.
Councilman Godlewski.
Yes.
Councilwoman Wozzachowski.
Yes.
Supervisor Pettsley.
Yes, resolution passes for consent. Now we'll take a motion to pass the resolutions on consent. Do I have a motion?
Oh, I'll move it.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? Seeing none, please record the vote.
Councilman Martin,
Yes.
Councilman Rebosa. Councilman Godlewski.
Yes.
Councilwoman Wozzachowski.
Yes.
Supervisor Pettsley.
Yes, resolutions pass. We are on to resolution 40, which is accepting the Greenway feasibility study. Do I have a motion? Do I have a second?
Second.
Moved and seconded. As you know, this is something we've discussed at a few either work sessions or board meetings or get-togethers or virtual get-togethers over the past couple of months, actually. We've been working on this actually for over a year, and this is a great document for us. I want to thank Melissa Cherubino for her work on making sure this got done through difficult circumstances. I remember when we had our meeting at the senior center with the community. It seems like a long time ago when we were all gathered without face masks, looking over maps and things and doing planning with the public. But this is something that's going to give us a vision and a common understanding for residents to know the path forward on our plan to roll out a more walkable, greener, more sustainable town of Glenville. And this will give us that vision so people start to see how we fill in those different plans. So we will enact that tonight. And again, I want to thank Melissa for her work. Any other questions or comments on that?
Just inquire, do we have the final, I mean, I know we had it presented to us by the consultants. I don't know that I've seen the final draft. I mean, I know from what the presentation was, the breadth of what it says, the ideas behind it. I'm certainly supportive, but I would like to look at the document if, and they could be at a later date.
Yeah, I was under the impression that everyone got that. I could talk to Melissa. I know that it was essentially the same document that we had that discussion other than, yeah, the cost, and then we settled, so whatever we settled on that night, but
Yeah,
but-
and I'm going to support it. There's, I'll take a look at it. If there's a down the road, I could always move to a, bring a resolution.
yeah, it's not a, it's not really a binding document. It's just kind of a vision forward.
Yeah.
So, any other questions or comments? Seeing none, please record the vote.
Councilman Martin,
Yes.
Councilman Rebosa.
Yes.
Councilman Godlewski.
Yes.
Councilman Wozzachowski.
Yes.
Yes, resolution passes. Next resolution 41, appointing members to serve on the Return Park District Advisory Committee for a 2-year term from 2021 through 2022. Do I have a motion?
I'll move it.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Moved and seconded. This is a committee that we had a standing, well, it wasn't a standing committee. It was an annual committee that we authorized once. It was about 4 years ago. It has not been authorized since. The residents of the Return have come to me to petition that we would reauthorize it. It's not uncommon for us to have park district committees. We have one in Berkeley Square and one in Hemlock Hollow. And so it would make sense to have one here as well. In the discussion, it was clear that it would not be a drainage district advisory committee, however, so that's a typo on there. This is for the Return Park District Advisory Committee to work with the town on how to expend funds out of the park fund for that area. And the folks that were appointed to it came from the neighborhood. They got together and they've selected their representatives. And you can see a list of them there, which I don't have right in front of me. Okay, if you want to read them.
Jerry Lane at 10 Miracle Lane, Richard Euclid at 1 Miracle Lane, Donald Sweet at 29 Joyous Lane, Jeffrey Lazier at 18 Joyous Lane, Carlos Casciero at 14 Praise Lane, and Jenny Lippman at 21 Praise Lane.
Thank you.
The only thing I'll add to this is, again, a student or a youth added to this list would be phenomenal.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, parks are really, they're about everybody, but, if a kid has an opportunity to be involved in that conversation, it would be phenomenal. And I know every one of those people that are on that list, they're all more than capable and qualified. Certainly support it, but again.
Thank you.
Let's look into that.
Yes. Any other questions or comments? Seeing none, please record the vote.
Councilman Martin,
Yes.
Councilman Aragosa,
Yes.
Councilman Godbrewski,
Yes.
Councilwoman Wozzowski, Supervisor Tussin.
Yes, resolution passes. Next, resolution 42, entitled Adopting the COVID-19 Emergency Eviction and Foreclosure Prevention Act of 2020. Do I have a motion?
I'll move it. I'm sorry, I'll move it.
We got to move in a second. Linda, you figure out which one you want to put where. So this, I just want to call out because there was some confusion over the title. This is not us adopting the act. It's not us doing anything related to evictions or foreclosures. This is the act that the legislature put the allowing for the automatic renewal of low-income seniors. As you know, the town of Glenville was a leader on this issue. We were among the first out on calling on the governor to do this. This was an important thing. The governor did sign an executive order. The legislature then did act, and he did sign the bill that would allow us to keep our seniors safe by not requiring low-income seniors or those with disabilities to come in to renew. They'll have an automatic renew this year. So I just wanted to clarify that before we began discussion, because the title's not really have anything to do with what we're doing here today.
So what this does is it removes the provision that tells people that they have to apply each year by going to town hall
1 year, this year.
this year.
Yes.
It does it for this year, but
Yeah.
they, right.
And we have to enact the resolution to allow that to happen.
Right.
Well, let me just clarify. That's by law. So that took place by law. What this resolution is actually doing is allowing the assessor to enact procedures by which, if he feels that there's somebody that where the exemption has changed, meaning their income level has changed, how they can go about submitting that application. That's what this procedure, that's what this resolution is about, is enacting that procedure and allowing Bill, the town assessor, just to say, you can do it by email, or you can do it another way,
Okay.
other than coming in person. That's really what this is, because initially, the confusion, I think, lies in the fact that initially it was an executive order, and that executive order said all towns should adopt this. And then the legislature just took it away and said, we're just going to make it the law. So the law is that you right now get the 1 year exemption, but the process by which if you need to change it, because your income level changed, that is done by the assessor. And that's what we're resolving here today, to authorize Bill to do what he feels is best to get this change. Yeah, no problem.
Any other questions or comments? Seeing none, please record the vote.
Councilman Martin,
Yes.
Councilman Aragosa,
Yeah.
Councilman Godbrewski,
Yes.
Councilwoman Wozzowski, Supervisor Tussin.
Yes, resolution passes. Last resolution 43, authorizing the supervisor to enter into an agreement for a pilot for a solar project within the town of Glenville. Do I have a motion?
I'll move it.
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Moved and seconded. So this pilot is for the solar farm in the village of Scotia, which is wholly in the town of Glenville. And this would require us to enter into a pilot, and Scotia will also be entering into a pilot. The town of Glenville did all the negotiations on behalf of the village through our assessor's office. I will tell you, it was a long negotiation. It was interesting. We learned a lot about the solar market, and this was our first solar pilot. So this is something I think we're learning as we go through. We did use the guidance of NYSERDA, which has a standard solar pilot out there. I did call on the expertise of Ray Gillen, who is obviously very experienced in negotiating pilots and solar pilots. And this pilot ended up being right in line with both NYSERDA's examples and suggestions and Ray's experience and what he's doing in other parts of the county, particularly in Princetown. We also then did get a list of, provided by Ray, thankfully, a list of solar pilots in the entire state. And we are right in line with the rest of the state pilots with this solar pilot as well. So this solar pilot will allow us to collect or to assess, or whatever word you want to use, $4,000 per megawatt. It's a 4.625% 4.625 megawatt unit. So that's an $18,500 pilot payment to the village of Scotia and the town of Glenville. Now, what comes next in this negotiation is how does the village of Scotia and the town of Glenville share it? The mayor and I had talks about this, and we negotiated out a share that would be a 75-25 split between the village and the town, where the village would receive 75% and the town would receive 25%. And there's a lot of different reasons for that, but obviously because the solar farm is wholly in the village of Scotia, and they will be providing services, if any at all, where the town would not be, other than the service of negotiating the pilot and doing all the pilot work. And I want to thank Bill for all his strong work in this as well. Jason helped Bill on that one. John Minot from Earl's firm was very involved, so we had a lot of folks involved. So what's going to happen annually is the example that I just gave you with those numbers. The village will receive $13,875 in annual payment in 2021. The town will receive $4,625 in annual payment in 2021. There is a 2% escalator built into this through 2035, at which time Gina will be retiring from the board in 2035. It wasn't producing anything. I mean, minimal. It was empty space. Yeah. Yeah.
So it's a win-win.
Oh, yeah.
And a
Oh, yeah.
win and a win.
Yes.
How does this impact the school district? Not that
It doesn't.
that's our concern.
It doesn't.
It doesn't.
I understood that to be because they didn't file on to the pilot.
Yeah. Oftentimes,
Go ahead, Chris.
yeah, schools aren't affected by these because they don't have buses and services. So a lot of times they don't bother to join in that. So the town and the village divvy up that shit.
Yeah, one of the things under the law, once the developer advises the town or municipality that they're going to construct, they have the intent to construct a solar facility, it triggers a time period within the law by which we have to respond. I believe it's 60 days, but we have to respond and say we would like a pilot. Some municipalities completely miss that. 60 days go by and that's jurisdictional and you can't get it any longer. And so with Bill, Chris and myself, we sent a letter in March sometime about this.
Yeah, it goes way back. Yeah.
So that was something that other municipalities like the school district didn't do.
Okay, so that was up to them too. So will they receive no revenue then?
Correct.
Okay.
It's not unusual.
It's not.
Yeah. The schools, they don't
Well,
get
I mean,
impacted.
since
So
we're
they're
not
not,
getting on the
yeah.
bus from
A lot of times they don't do it, a lot of times the counties don't do it
Yeah.
either, for whatever reason, but for municipalities like us and the village, we should do it.
Yeah.
Probably because $4,000 isn't that big in a budget of like $40 million. You know? But anyway, so, all right, so there we are. So that, any other questions or comments? Seeing none, please record the vote.
Councilman Martin,
Yes.
Councilman Yagowski.
Yes.
Councilman Dabrowski.
Yes.
Councilwoman Rosowski.
Yes.
Supervisor Pettsley.
Yes, resolution passes. We're at the end of the meeting. I want to thank you all for being here. Jim, thank you for being here as well virtually. I will entertain a motion to adjourn. Do I have a motion?
I move
Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Moved in second. Okay, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? We're adjourned. Thanks, Jim. Good luck on your run.
Sorry, Jim.
Stay healthy.
The board members sign that CHIPS agreement.
Yes. But they did. They have it down there. Where's the CHIPS agreement? Oh, right here. Oh, Jim's not here.
Jim needs to sign it.
Oh, somebody already did.
Yeah.
Need a-
I'll get a hold of Jim and
Yes.
Tom.
And Tom.